Why can't I get my cat to do that? What am I doing wrong? Sasha,
Well-
I can make you a star. Come on.
Well, Siamese love to talk.
Well, they do, but she clams up on camera for some reason.
Really?
Well, right now she's sleeping in the kitchen. I can't even force her out here. But yeah, I could try holding her up and see what happens. But I don't think she has the talent of that cat.
She's running from the grease paint. She's running from the lights of the stage.
That's right. That's right. She just wants a life of privacy.
I think she wants kitty kib. I think she wants the kitty kibble, but she doesn't want to work for it.
Yeah, she has me doing it for her. You think about it, cats have easy lives. So they poop, they sleep, they eat. We're just here to be their slaves and masters. They're the master, we're the slaves.
Absolutely. Well, did you have a good week? How was your week?
Oh, it was a good week. I've just been doing artwork, writing, making calls for you, talking to your wonderful people, tackling some housework. But other than that, it's been a good week. How about yourself?
Well, I voted. I don't know if everybody else here has voted. Be sure and tell us if you have voted early and which state you have voted in. We're going to talk a little bit about the exit polls. If you could like, subscribe, share, think about membership. Those are great ways to get the word out about this channel. I'm hoping to get to 100,000 eventually. So you said you did, or you said, or you did, or you didn't vote?
I have my ballot, and some things are very obvious what I'm going to vote for, but there are a few measures here in California I still want to do a little more reading and a little studying on first. But I'm hoping to get my ballot out within the next 2 or 3 days because we know how important it is to get these ballots out early and get them counted, just in case there's any tricks up Trump's sleeve or anything like the last election.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you, of course, are in California,
Yes,
which traditionally goes blue. So your vote, unfortunately, is not going to have the same impact as if somebody is in Arizona,
North Carolina, Florida,
North Carolina.
Texas, Pennsylvania.
So, yeah, do you have anything else you wanted to say?
I was just hearing on the news yesterday, they're calling Pennsylvania the must-win state. And thankfully, Kamala does seem to be leading, but it's just so razor thin in all of the swing states, if the polls are to even be believed or trusted.
Yeah, so let's go ahead. We'll take a look at the early voting information, what we have right now on the exit polling. If you would like to find out about the exit polling, you can go to NBC/politics24-elections-early vote, and you'll be shown a map like this. And they do update it on a regular basis. This was updated at 7:57 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we're talking about like an hour ago. It was updated, and they've made it so nice. It's so easy to look. Look at this. It's shaped like the American flag. What do you think about that?
Well, I like it. I can't see it well enough on my screen. Just please tell me it's showing in favor of the Democrats and Kamala Harris. Is it?
Well, here's what we have in the early voting. 46% of the people that have early voted are Democrats, not as much of a buffer as we had in 2020.
Yeah.
And that's because Republicans were told to get out the vote early. And 18% are independents or refused to answer for whatever reason, we don't know.
Yeah.
And
that's their privilege.
Right. And, so we can assume that 2/3 are going to go with the Republicans. Let's say theoretically that 2/3 go with the Republicans. So it looks like in early voting, Democrats are leading by a long shot. But unfortunately, we go by electoral college, and that's when things get a little dicey. We'll start over here in Arizona, and we see, unfortunately, only 36% of registered voters are Democrats, with a whopping 43% of in-mail and in-person are Republican, and 21% undecided. Again, you want to think that 2/3. If they go with the Republicans, it looks like we have lost Arizona if this trend continues.
Yeah, well, I think it has looked that way for a while, that Arizona was going to go to Trump, from what I have seen. And, we know that traditionally Democrats are the ones who vote early, but maybe that's why the Republicans are making more of an effort now. But I think last year, wasn't Trump even urging people not to vote early for whatever maniacal reasons he had? So it's interesting now they are coming out.
Right. And that's unfortunate because, again, for those people who were Republican and then decided they were going to vote the day of, and then they don't want to wait in line, and so they don't show up, that also was a buffer for us. And unfortunately, it looks like we're losing that buffer. And sadly, the polls are turning out to be fairly accurate. We can continue on. Yeah, I know. It's something that we don't want to see, but at the same time, this is just another reason why you want to get out the vote early. So going on to Nevada, we've got more bad news out of Nevada with it is equal 38% registered Democrats and 38% Republicans voting, with 24% refusing to mention. As you can see, when you do the split, it splits right down the middle, with the undecided 34% dropping down to 24%. 5% went to the Democrats and 5% to the Republicans. Nevada, at this point, if you're looking at early voting, it's going to be either way. So we could be looking at losing Nevada and losing Arizona.
Oh my God. Well, when I was volunteering last week at the Democratic headquarters in Pasadena, because I've been writing postcards, I asked, where do you want me to write the next batch? And they said, send them to Nevada because of the Senate race there. Very, very close. We're our lead in the Senate is just razor thin. We could easily lose that. Yeah. And so they said, by all means, write your postcards to people in Nevada.
It's looking scary. It's looking really scary. Yeah. But before people start ripping their hair out and screaming that they're moving to Portugal, let's continue on here with some surprises. I once told everybody here to keep their eyes on Texas. Keep your eyes on Texas. Let's take a look at what's going on over in deep in the heart of Texas. 50% of early voting is going to Democrats, with only 43% going to Republicans and 7% undecided. And that's holding with already 643,000 votes. If this trend continues, the Democrats will take Texas.
Incredible. Well, if I may say this, people here know I work as your assistant, and I make a lot of phone calls to people all over the country, from your client list.
Not all bad.
I've been speaking to people in Florida and Texas who have been assuring me there's a lot more support for the Democrats and Kamala Harris than the polls seem to be making it sound. At least that's what I'm hearing from local citizens. They're just having to be very quiet about it because it is considered Trump country and MAGA Trump country, so they have to be very discreet about it. But they're telling me this on the phone.
Well, as we gaze lovingly at this beautiful, let me see if I can get a better image of this. As we gaze, it's right there smack dab in our beautiful taco truck. But as we gaze at these beautiful numbers coming out of Texas, what do we know about the history of Texas?
Well, there's a lot of history of Texas, but it has traditionally gone Republican, though. Is that what you mean?
No. It's been traditionally get out of my bedroom, get off my gun. It's been notoriously independent, and that's how it got to be jokingly referred to as the land of queers and steers.
Ooh.
Because this is where liberals used to go to get away from the church.
I didn't know that.
And some of the first LGBTQ bars and saloons were in Texas. And Arizona, Tombstone, right?
Intriguing.
That area where people went out to the West so they could live their lives in peace. So when they took away a woman's right to choose, they had 10,000 extra unwanted births a year.
Ooh.
So what we're seeing in deep in the heart of Texas is we're seeing a revolution happening. And I think it's freaking great. I wish I could get a better image of that for people.
Yeah.
We can go there and you can see already 643, and what a cushion, 50% with only 43% recognized and that is holding.
That's good news.
There's already 643. It's going to be they would have to take 100% of the independent votes at this point to take Texas if this trend continues.
Yeah. What's your gut instinct, Whimsy?
I think we could take Texas.
Yeah. Didn't you say that also about Florida? You have a gut instinct about Florida and North Carolina?
Well, this is
the gun.
Well, I think it's okay if you jump the gun. We go into early voting and we take a look at what's happening over in Florida, and good news again for the Democrats, with 43% coming out for Harris or being Democrats and 36%. We have a slight lead here. If you look at the split, 24% dropping, 3% it splits, and the 2 to 1, 2 going to the Republicans and 1 going to the Democrat, from 42 to 43, 34 to 36. So if this trend continues, we're going to razor thin. We'll take Florida. You can see there's only 1.3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's because we only need 8 points out of the 21.
Yeah, that ties in a little to what I'm hearing on the phone calls when I talk to people in those states.
Yeah, and I still think we're going to take Nevada, because I think that, again, Nevada has that independent feeling where they don't like people in their business. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's Trump country. You've got some Trump people. He was popular in Nevada, but there also are a lot of people that are just annoyed with him. Here is the blue wall we were looking for in Pennsylvania. Also great news, great numbers coming out of
Oh,
Pennsylvania with over 921,000 votes already cast. We still need a lot more, but you can see good news is in person,
yeah.
we're up to 63%. That's a hell of a blue wall.
Yeah. Yeah.
If this trend continues, it'll be almost impenetrable.
Oh my God, that's good news. Especially
Yeah.
with as I said on the evening news, I heard Pennsylvania is the must-win state for either
Oh,
candidate.
I think we definitely take it. Of course, Minnesota, we've
Tim
got
Walz. Yeah.
Tim Walz, but 45% with only 18% registered Republicans. Looks like it's probably going to be almost impossible for the Republicans to take
Oh,
Minnesota. I wasn't really surprised about Minnesota, but also good news coming out of Michigan on early voting, a whopping 53% registered Democrats, above the 50%
yeah.
that we had anticipated. And you can
Yeah.
see in this margin of error, it goes from 11 to 10%. It's split evenly in Michigan.
Hmm.
So it's going to be, again, with 1.1 million already cast, it's going to be, and only 37% as Republican. We're looking at it being almost impossible for them to catch up if these numbers continue.
Oh my God.
But boy,
Yeah.
are you getting stomach butterflies? I mean,
Oh, I have been a nervous wreck. I'll admit that.
really,
Yeah, that's one of
really.
the reasons I wanted to do volunteer work. I just had to take some action, something constructive, put my energy forward. I just could not stay quiet and complacent with so much at
Shocking
stake.
news out of West Virginia that was not anticipated
Yeah.
was that 44% went up to 45% on registered Democrats, with only 37% Republican in West Virginia. And they think that has to do with the suburbs.
Could be. Could be. I know that's I'm
So
from
if the,
Virginia, and my grandmother is from West Virginia. I know that's always been a very conservative area.
It's
Could be.
changing because of the suburbs, because people out of
Yeah.
Virginia are buying homes in West Virginia. And you can see, even if
Yeah.
we take only 6% of the 18%, if this trend continues again, we could take West Virginia. Crazy,
Wow.
crazy
Crazy,
numbers.
crazy. Yeah.
And also good news out of Virginia. I'll show it to
Mm-hmm.
you at 53% in Virginia, with
Mm-hmm.
only 38%, 9% either undecided or unreported. Again, it looks like we will easily succeed in
That's
Virginia.
great. Virginia, I know the last election went blue, and I think maybe the one before that. It's been many years since I lived there, but when I was in Virginia, it almost always went Republican. It used to drive me crazy because I felt like my vote never counted because the Electoral College.
Yeah. Good news continues out of Illinois with early voting.
Yeah.
63% registered voters. We need to get more Democrats up and to the polls, with only 54% reporting. We can see an increase in the number of and the enthusiasm of Republicans in Illinois because of early voting,
Yeah.
but we still see a great lead.
Well,
You can see of the 10% dropping to 8%, a large percentage went to the Republican vote, but we've got plenty of cushion there. We
yeah.
still need to get those ballots in out of
Yeah.
Illinois.
If I'm not mistaken, hasn't Illinois traditionally gone blue in
Yeah,
presidential
and
elections? Yeah.
it will again.
Yeah. I'm thinking also Obama and even the Oprah factor, in Chicago, that might have some play.
Yeah, but I
Certainly
mean,
Barack Obama.
why don't you go ahead and say hi to everybody? We haven't had a
Oh, yeah.
chance yet to say hi to everybody that's here. That might be a
Well, I
good
think
thing to
that's a
start.
good
And I think we've
idea.
got some new memberships as well, which
Do
is
we? That's great. Yeah. Well, we're always grateful to everyone here. We have hello. Oh, I love this. We have Pippi Longstocking. Hi, Pippi.
oh, I like
Yeah,
that.
I do too. We have Kim and Sly and Raven and Jill. Scrolling through the names here. Terry, Wendy. Hey, Wendy. And of course, our wonderful Joel Tilson is here. Be careful not to reread names here. Wesley. Hi, Wesley. Rose. Hi, Rose. Scorpio 8763. Another interesting name. Anne. Hi, Anne. Oh, I love your name. Always Blessed. Fabulous. Happy to have you here with us.
Looks like we've got a lot of people rejoining, starting with Jiggy Pardo Lord, Cat Caddy. Thank you for your membership. Ironweed, Stefan Hefner, Maglazi Lisa, Lakshmi, Janice Eidenberg, Mary Lee, Rebecca Orsi, Lisa James, Joy Shepard, Holly S., Patsy Lenore, Tabsy Goose, Gail Na, Ja'al Stars, Ishko One, Johnny Appleseed. Thank you, everyone who has decided to sign up. Look at all these wonderful people.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you, everybody.
This pays Chuck's salary. So,
so I can feed Sasha.
Yes, this is all, I'm convinced
featuring cat treats,
Well, what kind of cat treats do you feed your cat?
Oh, actually, I don't give her too many treats, but on an occasion, I was being facetious there, but she loves things like cream cheese. I'll put a little bit out for her. She
really?
likes ice cream. I just give like a little taste and things because I know it's not good for her, but she likes ice cream. She likes cheese. And she's very good about eating just her regular cat food. But I was going to shout out to Joyce Petrus. Hey, Joyce, my friend. I owe you a phone call, Joyce. I haven't forgotten about you. I think about you a lot, and I want to say hi. I've gotten to know a lot of these people personally just through the calls I make,
Yes, I bet you do. Now, other than how are you feeling? Why don't we go ahead? We'll do the empath prayer.
Okay.
And then we'll go ahead and we'll look at the cards, and we will also do the pendulum. And I want to know your opinion about the polls. What are you feeling? I got a couple different cards here. I think I'm going to use the Whimsy deck today.
Mm-hmm.
Also, did you get a copy of our book of the month?
Yes, I did. I got it yesterday in the mail. I just opened it up today, and I'm anxious to start reading because it looks like a subject I am going to be enthralled by.
Yes, for those of you who don't know, Chuck and I have a Book of the Month club. We've always wanted to do one, and now we get to do one. Yay! And once a month, we interview an author who is part of our community. We like subjects that have to do with spirituality. We like fiction and nonfiction. If you have a book that you would like us to have at our book club, please send them to us. Dr. Whimsy Anderson, care of Dr. Whimsy Anderson, 1819 Southwest 5th Avenue, Suite 116, Portland, Oregon, 97201. The information is below. Diane will be with us, I believe, November 18th, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to, is it November 18th? I should know. It's going to be on a Tuesday, a month from now.
A month from now.
It's right before Thanksgiving we're having her on. Okay. It's the 19th. She'll be here on the 19th.
That'll be great. That'll be terrific.
Yeah.
I always look forward to it.
So on the 19th.
I love Judy. We interviewed her the other week. It was
oh my God. Wasn't she an incredible writer? I mean, just got deep in your soul.
Well, when she read from her work, it was, I think everybody who listened was deeply moved. I told her she should do her own audiobook.
You know what I love about Belle is that she wrote about Belle as somebody who had this animalistic will to survive, like grabbing, she had lost her child and someone's breaking into the home and she grabs and gonna like douse you with fire, like the passion and that passion and desire to live and fight. And she's a hell of a writer.
But I saw a lot of those qualities in Judy. I saw.
Yeah, well, I think Judy's a lot kinder.
Well, yes.
I can't imagine her. Well, maybe, I don't know.
I know, but I could see where that came from within her soul, how she was able to write that way. But that's the joy of doing these interviews. As I've said many times, we all read a book and feel like we know the author and we wish we could talk to them. you and I are lucky we get to do that. So I look forward to it every month. Yeah.
All right. If you know the empath's prayer, please join it with us, with Chuck and me, as we bring in some good energy with the empath's prayer. Okay. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together collectively as a community, we say, Amen.
Amen.
Amen. I also wanted to give a special gratitude to Diane Tierra. She is the creator of Noble Soul. Noble Soul. I believe they're available on Etsy. Noble Soul candles. These are the candles. She also has bath salts and that you can get through noblesoulwax.com. I want to just go ahead and give a shout out to her. If you're looking to support an artist, the holidays are coming, check out Noble Soul Wax Company. They're infused with amazing energy. Born Again. I love that. The one she sent me is Nourish Your Soul. I tell you, when this stuff, do not fear. They're infused.
What does it smell like?
Oh, it's incredible. It's just, and it's, oh my God, it's just, and you can see the crystals, the stones, they've been programmed depending, and it's just a beautiful gift, particularly if somebody's going through something like fear, or they need communion, or born again, to kind of reinvent yourself, champion of the heart. Do not fear. I love that one. Forgiveness and God's grace, but she's got so many amazing designs. Shalt not judge. I don't know if that's the one for me, because I'm all about judging. No, especially right now. Oh, I'm judging. But so if you want to support a great product, check out Diane Tiari, Noble Soul. We are happy to support her work. All right, so we're blitzing away. I figure that we would throw a couple cards on it. How are you feeling about the election? Any information?
How am I feeling about it? Personally, or what the cards say?
What the cards say.
Oh my goodness. Let me see. I'm just going to toss these around, see what comes up. Whoa. I hope these are good cards I just got. I hope these are good. I'll just tell quickly. This is what came out of the deck. That's my method. I let them fly out, and I got truth. Truth is coming to the surface. Celebration. Good news.
Oh, thank God.
Good news.
Thank
Truth
God.
and celebration. What are you getting, Whimsy? I feel good about these. What?
Death.
Death to the right party.
Yes, death. And 4 of Cups is a refusal to take the offer in the opposition. So things are going to change. And the other is an opposition. Remember that the keys are saying that Kamala Harris is going to take it. She has strength, and then her final outcome is 3 of Cups, which is the dancing ladies. But they're having a bubble bath in the. I love the women.
Celebrate.
Celebrate. So, what does your pendulum say? I don't do the pendulum.
Well, okay. Let me shift focus here. What do you wish me to ask? It has to be a yes or a no.
Is Kamala going to win?
Is Kamala Harris going to win the election?
And the electorate. We need the electorate.
Is Kamala Harris going to win the electoral vote? I am getting a big yes here.
Hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah.
That's what I'm getting.
Hallelujah.
Now energy shifts, but
Oh, we're
that's what
gonna
I'm getting right
win.
now. I'm
You know
getting a
what?
yes.
I am not gonna fall into
Ah.
all this negativity. I'm not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. I'm just not gonna do it.
Well, I think I told you about my dear friend Pam, who's a gifted psychic in British Columbia, and
Hmm.
she spoke with the spirit of Kamala Harris's mother. I've told this before, but according to her, her mother said, "My daughter is reaching her destiny."
Oh, is that what it said?
That's what she said. She contacted her spirit of her Kamala's mother, and she said, "My daughter is reaching her destiny."
Well, remember what I had said about Americans being overly medicated and that it was affecting their voting and that their
Yeah.
mental health? Have you seen this out of CNN?
Yes, you sent that to me earlier, and I've had those kind of text messages. I bet everybody has, where you'll get a text on your phone saying, "Click this link to donate to so and so candidate or something," and I'm like, "You think I'm stupid? I'm going to click your link?" You know, but I think this particular thing is playing upon the elderly, isn't it?
Yes. Hundreds of elderly political donors, including those with dementia, have fallen victim to Republican and Democratic political campaigns and groups. But specifically, it's the Republicans. So the Republicans appear to be preying on the mentally ill, the insane, and those
Oh my
people with
God.
dementia.
Well, I just think about my poor late father
Uh
toward the end
huh.
of his life. Those extended car warranty things, you get those scam phone calls. And this person was telling my father, "Well, you're going to go to jail if you don't get an extended warranty." And my sister went to visit him, and my poor 86-year-old father was crying, "I don't want to go to jail. I want to go to jail." My sister was livid, livid. She has a temper, much more than I
Good.
do, and she has a mouth on her, and she got those people on the phone and cussed them out good. "How dare you do this?" But I thought, how many other elderly people fall prey to that? They'll just say anything it takes. It's so dirty. It's so immoral.
Well, and I'm sure that, but the Democrats, we have a very nice way that we like to get back at our rivals. And I don't know if you've
Yeah.
seen this,
No, I haven't.
out of Arizona. Take a look.
24th Street in Washington. Car repair, car rentals, self-storage, dispensary, and what is that? Did you drive by and you're like, that is a 43-foot truck?
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, I need to take a picture of it.
All day. People driving by, laughing, taking photos.
But you can't get in, so there's no way to see it.
Oh, you can see it, whether you want to or not. It's a giant statue of Donald Trump naked. And yes, there is a bottom half. And yes, it shows everything. But don't worry, we won't. But apart from this thing being naked, it's also, well, it's huge. 43 feet tall, suspended from a crane in an empty lot. It's so tall we can see it from the 12 News Studios roof camera. Heck, we can see it from the newsroom.
But I just think that it is extraordinary.
Extraordinary and mysterious. The dispensary says it's not theirs. A person at the lot would only say it's just being stored there. But here's what we found out. The statue was apparently in Las Vegas a few days ago.
Is it a political statement or I don't know what it is. But hey, Vegas, anything will happen in Vegas.
According to
That guy had a cute accent. He was kind of cute.
multiple media outlets, it's an art installation from an anonymous artist called Crooked and Obscene. Someone claiming to be the artist told a Las Vegas TV station it weighs 6,000 pounds and is made out of foam. At the time, the Nevada GOP called it deplorable and offensive. The Arizona Republican Party did not respond to a request for comment. We don't know if it's here to stay or if you'll see it somewhere else around the valley. But we do know this.
It's real.
William Pitts, 12 News.
Well, the question is the penis shaped like a mushroom? That's the ultimate
Well,
question.
I'm sure he's no Arnold Palmer, but this reminds me. I think it was the last election. The reason I say that is because we've had to endure 3 consecutive elections with this a-hole. But some artists made these sculptures of Donald Trump naked, and anonymously deposited them in different cities like New York, Chicago, here in Los Angeles. And I sent you pictures of it. It was deposited here in my neighborhood. Trump naked with his little itty bitty, you know what, and his saggy ass and his pot belly and everything. It was so yuck.
I think they need to put him in diapers. I think that would be even more. I'm sorry. Please forgive me, Lord. Or not. Okay.
Or not. Yeah.
So people are speaking about Elon Musk. Let's go into it. We've talked a little bit about the fact that Mr. Elon Musk has developed a wee robot, and I believe he is working towards making it part of the police force. Yes, these beautiful, harmless, sweet little robots. They're going to do so many nice things for us. I'm telling you, he's going to turn them into police and military. Take a look.
And we've made a lot of progress with Optimus. And as you can see, we started up with someone in a robot suit, sort of down, and then we've progressed dramatically year after year. So if you extrapolate this, you're really going to have something spectacular, something that anyone could own. So you could have your own personal R2-D2 C-3PO.
Or your own private security
for
your company. Take a look. They're going to use them to secure private businesses in a couple of years. They're going to be armed, and they're going to be able to scan your identity.
Oh dear God!
These are going to be our future security. And at that point, Elon Musk has his own army. I'm telling you, keep looking.
Jeez.
And I think at scale, this would cost something like, I don't know, $20,000, $30,000. Probably less than a car. Is my prediction long term. Now, it'll take us a minute to get to the long term, but fundamentally at scale, the Optimus robot, you should be able to buy an Optimus robot for, I think, probably $20,000 to $30,000 long term. So, and what can it do? It'll be able to do anything you want. So it can be a teacher, babysit your kids. It can walk your dog, mow your lawn, get the groceries, just be your friend, serve drinks. Whatever you can think of, it will do.
Oh, that's creepy. Whatever you want it to do, won't even go there. But when they said babysit your kid, would you want to entrust your child to something like that? I mean, he's trying to make it all warm and cozy. Oh, they're watering the plants and cleaning the kitchen and stuff. I don't think that's what he's intending with those. I'm creeped out. I see that. It's not like the Jetsons. Remember Rosie the robot, the house cleaning robot, or remember Lost in Space, the robot on there? No, this is a little darker to me. I don't get a good feeling about it.
Well, what's to keep them from building an army? He said they're cheap to make.
Yeah.
They can be programmed to do anything. So why not take over the police? Why not take over the military? And then at that point, Elon Musk has his own military.
Yeah.
Why not? Wouldn't you do it if you could? If you were as power hungry as he is?
I suppose if I were more maniacal minded, maybe. I mean, I think you and we come from the mindset if we had that sort of thing, we would do it in a way that would be benevolent and helpful to the planet. I just don't know that that's his intention. But yeah, I guess when you've got that kind of money and power, you can do whatever you want. And hasn't there even been theory that's why Elon Musk is promoting Donald Trump so much, because he's hoping Donald Trump's going to come in and just throw all the Constitution out and everything and reshape the government and basically give people like Elon Musk a lot more power to do.
Well, he would be the de facto president. That people are like, well, he can't be the president. I'm so smart. Let me tell you a thing, little lady. He can't be the president because he was born in Pretoria. It's like, we know he was not born in the United States. That wasn't the point of the last video. The point of the last video is, for all intents and purposes, he will be the president because Trump is nothing more than a puppet on a string being dangled by Elon Musk. So Elon Musk would be the president. Peter Tillwood. This is just a character. I mean, he basically retired. He's not even going. Trump isn't even going to interviews. He took off. He's sleeping through half of them when he does show up.
It's like the old days when he was president. Just watching television all day long and playing golf.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, we have some questions, and I think we can go ahead and blitz away. We're starting with Joel Tilson. NATO is so fed up with Putin, NATO enters the war to force out Russia from Ukraine or go to Moscow. Do you think NATO could be entering the war? They're now threatening other countries. I guess a drone entered Lithuanian airspace. We have North Korea entering. Yeah. What's your feeling about this? Is it time for NATO to get off the fence? And a lot of people died because NATO just didn't go in and clean this mess up earlier. That's what I think. But
well, isn't that the traditional role of NATO, to be a peacekeeper, to be a mediator, to prevent another third world war? Wasn't that the original intention, at least?
Well, let's take a look. Will NATO enter the war? Let's take a couple cards and check it out.
You want me to do cards or pendulum? Well, here,
well, if you want to do pendulum, you can do pendulum.
Well, let me see.
Cards.
I'm going to do this with pendulum. Okay. I'm going to hold it up to speed and say, will NATO, how should I phrase this? Will NATO
enter the war?
Enter the war? Oh my God. Look at that. It went right to yes.
Yeah. I'm thinking.
Right to yes. Big yes.
I always see NATO marching on Moscow. This lunatic. It didn't surprise me that they entered Russian space and they started marching. They're 150 miles from Moscow now, but you have death. You have death. And you have the opposition hanged man hanging it up. Russia cannot maintain this. The fact that they are at the mercy of one of the poorest countries in the world, certainly the poorest in Asia, they're using those people as their military. These guys don't have any military training. Tons of them have already defected. Great, we're in the West. Thanks for the free ticket. They all started running towards Ukraine. We surrender. Now they dropped their weapons because they didn't have any training. So you have death of the war, and you have the opposition hanged man, the hopes and fears, ace of rods. Rods are all about space and territory, and the final outcome is strength. So yeah, NATO's getting involved.
Yeah. I just had one card here fill out, exhaustion. I mean, you more or less have just said that. Russia's getting depleted. People are tired of this. It's got to come to an end. It's got to come to a conclusion. But that's just what I got, exhaustion. That came up.
Yeah. So a lot of comments about the race, a lot of people feeling good about the race, a lot of people finally getting their ballots in. And I think that that's great. Bringing your ballots in now is, they have not recorded them. So a lot of people have mailed them out this week, but in the next couple of days, we'll see the numbers shift again as the exit polls are start to come in.
I was just thinking, Whimsy, aren't there certain states like Georgia where they now have laws that the votes have to be hand counted now? I think Georgia has that law now, and that came about after 2020 by the Republicans.
I think that they changed it. If I'm not mistaken, they decided not to do that. They would be counted the day of, and then I don't know if they're going to hand count them. The only reason to hand count is if it was really close, like by 5,000.
Yeah.
And again, I think the reason that it's close this time is because so many Republicans are voting now and they're not waiting. Of course, that's probably why you have the long lines out of Georgia. According to the exit polls, when they asked people, who did you vote for? They said Kamala, and she's leading by 1 point according to the exit polls. But if you look at the exit polls of who's voted, it's more Republicans and independents than Democrats. If they're telling the truth, then that's a very good sign for Georgia.
Yeah. Well, it's like what Liz Cheney said the other day, just vote your conscience. Nobody has to know how you vote. That's more or less the old saying, it's between you and God. So there's no shame if you're a Republican and you want to go Democrat. Nobody has to know.
I feel good.
Yeah.
I feel good. Even if Trump wins, I feel good. That's how good I feel, because he's not going to be the president. Even if he got elected, he wouldn't be the president. He would step down and we would be dealing with J.D. Vance. And the truth of the matter is, I'm not so convinced that they would have the power to, J.D. Vance and whoever he selected. I don't think that they would have the power that people think they have, because I think Biden, hear me out, don't freak out, but I'm just saying, if worst case scenario, I think Biden has done so much to secure, to Trump proof. I mean, they've put enough money towards the Ukrainian war for like several years now. I mean, they've really done a lot. My concern is more the Senate and the House at this point. I still think Kamala's going to win, but I don't like the numbers on the Senate.
Yeah.
Do you mind if we take a look at Texas and Ted Cruz and
Yeah.
what do you think about Ted Cruz? Do you
I
think
can't
that
stand Ted Cruz? I haven't for years, but I understand it's like the same thing. It's almost a dead heat in that state, isn't it?
Well, again, if we take a look at the numbers coming out of Texas, I mean, you got to admit those numbers are shocking for anybody who has been following politics for a long time. I mean, nobody expected numbers like that to be coming out of Texas. I have to admit that I'm shocked.
I
mean, there's 7% independent and undecided, with already 50%. Even if everybody went for the Republicans, which is highly unlikely, we would be neck and neck in Texas. And I think that's a very good sign for the future of Harris's campaign.
Yeah, good sign.
I mean, look at that. 643,000 already voted, with 50% registered Democrats.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping it's a good sign that I forget who is Ted Cruz running against, but I hope it's a good sign for his opponent.
Allred, I believe is how you say the last name. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But look at these numbers. We only need 1% of the 7% to win this election in Texas at these current rates. I mean, think about that. Is that not glory, glory, hallelujah? Oh, Texas, deep in the heart of Texas. And look at these, and I'm pleasantly surprised by the gender. 58% of women marching in Texas, pissed as hell.
Yeah.
Pissed as hell. Look at those numbers coming out of Texas. 58%.
Haven't you been predicting that? You've been saying the youth vote and the female vote.
For a very long time. Yes, really, sweetie. For a very long, I just knew Texas was going to go. If it doesn't, I think it's very likely it's going to go blue. And if this is, can you believe these numbers? 50%. Look at that. Mail-in ballots 137, but these are people going to the polls, rolling to the polls. 643 already. That with 50%, it's looking dang good for us in Texas, people.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's 58%, don't piss off women.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And most of the people I've spoken to in Texas on your behalf have been women, and this is what they've been telling me. So this is bearing it out. I love hearing this news.
We're going to see. I think we're going to see Texas go blue.
It's beautiful.
It's looking really good.
Encouraging news.
All right. So, do you want to check and see if Colin Allred takes it? Because I think Colin Allred is going to take it. I think that people are so pissed in Texas and about people grabbing their guns in their vaginas. And Annie Oakley, man, it's like, get your hand off my JJ and my gun.
That's a great title, Guns and Vaginas.
That's right.
I love it, but
well, we used guns in our house too growing up, because it's Oregon and everybody hunts. My brothers hunted. They were they hunted birds and all kinds of stuff, because it was part of the culture. It wasn't that they were violent. It was just, it's Oregon. Everybody hunts out in Oregon.
Well, come on, look at
I've hunted, not with guns, with fish. I fish, which is a type of hunting. Right?
Yeah, it is. But Kamala proudly has a Glock.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yes.
That shit. Well, she was being followed in cars to and from her home. Dang,
I don't blame her.
A gun.
I don't blame her one bit. Well, I think I mentioned this on a previous show. Eleanor Roosevelt in the 30s and 40s, when she was first lady, carried a pistol in her purse. And she had that column, My Day, and she wrote about it. And she said, I have been trained by the FBI. and I have done target practice. I know how to use my gun. I carry one and I know how to use it. And I said, can you just imagine Eleanor Roosevelt holding out her gun?
Ooh, that would be nice if Eleanor Roosevelt was reincarnated as Harris. It's like, I was the president before and I will be the president again. You think it was that old man sitting in that chair? I was the president.
Well, they were very much a team. If you've ever read any recent biographies,
And
Eleanor,
he liked all of Eleanor's girlfriends. They call
Eleanor had her girlfriend living in the White. Well, girlfriend is the right word for it, but she lived in the White House with her.
He had the secretary, and she had
Lucy
her
Mercer.
girlfriend. Yes, and he said, "Well, what do you all do in the cabin out in the woods?" And he said, "Well, it's a love shack." So she went off to bed with her woman, and he went off to bed with his woman. And they were very open about it, and that was before it was politically correct.
Yeah, Eleanor's
love shack.
Eleanor's partner was a reporter for the Associated Press.
That's right.
And the reason she was able to live in the White House she was there to cover the activities of the First Lady. And I'm sure
she covered them.
Yes.
Well, the love letters are actually very beautiful. They
are beautiful.
The love letters.
In all
oh, my
seriousness,
darling. Right. The poems. Does she love me? They were very romantic. Yeah.
I know. They are beautiful. I don't want people to think I'm making light of that.
No, it was a
good for Eleanor,
Yes, because why should anyone be alone? And he had his girlfriend and she had hers. Yeah. So listen, let's check and see if Alred is going to win.
Okay.
I'm feeling good about this.
Is this opponent going to win? Is he going to win? Okay. It's not a big yes, but it's a yes. It's a yes. And I had earlier pulled a card when you asked the question. This may seem a little obvious, but it's again the celebration card. I swear to God, this is what popped out. And look how it's even a blue card. Celebration. I think it looks very good. Very good just based on this.
You know what I love about the Whimsy deck is it depicts the Queen of Cups as the celebratory queen who toasts to us at a celebration. And so in 2 weeks' time, pentacles are weeks. My students are here. You all know pentacles are weeks, right? Because a week's pay. So witches used to traditionally a pentacle. They would hold a pentacle was a week, right? So it's interesting. 5 days a week people work. They used to work a 6-day half day. Did you know that? And then they got rid of it and gave us a full 5 days. So 5-sided, 5 days a week's pay. So in 2 weeks comes a celebration. Look, coming out and toasting the crowds.
Wow.
And look at Cruz. Look at Cruz. Look at Cruz. Look at the opposition. Death. A new beginning comes to the White House, the castle, to DC.
I love it. I love it very much.
So they're saying Cruz loses, and he loses handily. You
mean he loses bigly?
Bigly. It's because of this blue wave. I'm telling you, those women are pissed. 58% of voters in Texas, women, they're pissed.
Good for them.
I'm feeling really good. Okay, let's keep going. I want to make sure we get to everything. As some of you know, we have another situation. We talked a lot about exposés that were happening in the fashion industry, Hollywood, and all of that. Ambercrobie and Finch is the latest. Mike Jeffries is the latest to fall in a sex trafficking scandal. Here is the conference that just came out. I believe it was also in California. Let's take a look.
On charges of sex trafficking and engaging in interstate prostitution. Powerful individuals for too long have trafficked and abused for their own sexual pleasure young people with few resources in a dream of securing a successful career in fashion or entertainment. To anyone who thinks they can exploit and coerce others by using the so-called casting couch system, this case should serve as a warning. Prepare to trade that couch for a bed in federal prison.
You want to talk about it?
Well, that's a good way of putting it. be prepared to trade that couch for a bed in prison. You know, when I heard this story today, I wasn't too shocked by it because it ties in so much. You know, I live here in LA, Hollywood, as you once did also, and I've known many people who will do anything to break into show
Yes.
business, anything to get famous. My own theory, a lot of it has to do with core insecurity and yourself, but that's another story. But
we made it the right way. We did it on YouTube.
yeah, but I've seen Abercrombie and Fitch, when they used to have the flagship store at the Grove, and I used to see they used to purposely hire almost all the employees were young, good-looking men in their 20s and Caucasian who fit this mold. And later there were lawsuits, over people claiming that they were not being ethnically diverse. People were not being hired because they didn't fit the proper look. They wanted all these GQ male model types. And so it's not surprising to me because a lot of these are models aspiring to be big, to be famous, hence the willingness to do anything. Like what we talked about with the Sean Combs, people going to the parties and stuff. So when I heard these stories about what he was doing, forcing them to have sex, forcing them to do drugs, alcohol, take Viagra, engage in sex acts in front of him, I thought, yeah, that's so demeaning. But I know people who would demean themselves if it would make them famous, if it would get them ahead. It's very sad.
If you look at it from a spiritual perspective, nobody should ever want, and in modern Buddhism we talk about your desires. What do you desire out of life? What do you want to do with your life? And how it's unhealthy to how wanting something that badly is a type of hell and suffering, and that
it's like a hell.
And it's a religion. It's where you have placed your faith in. It's great to want something and to be determined and to do great things. Like, you can't help but admire Elon Musk working 100 hours a week and producing these incredible things. I mean, it is he and his team. I mean, he finds incredible people, right?
Right. Yes, indeed.
He finds us, right? I don't know how he finds the guy's psychic. I don't know. He always shows up when somebody says, I've got the solution for world peace or whatever. He will find them. I don't know how the hell this guy is always there. I swear the guy's psychic, but
he's also hyper focused. I don't know if maybe some of that comes from his,
well, what he has said is that if you put in 100 hours a week and everybody else is putting in 50, you'll be twice as successful. I mean, if you truly want something badly enough, you're going to fight. But, there's a dark side to that. If you want something that badly, that can also be, you should never want anything so badly that you're going to lose your soul over it.
I was just going to say that. I was just thinking the same thing as you, at the expense of your soul, at the expense of your personal dignity, expense of your self-worth. Because, I say that, like I mentioned actors I've known here in LA, I've lived here 39 years. I have seen people willing to put their dignity and their self-worth aside if they think that's going to get them famous, get them into the big time. And the male model industry is very big. And Abercrombie and Fitch for many years was like the platinum standard. If you made it there, and those Bruce Weber black and white photographs and everything, once you made that, you had written your ticket. And then you could go on to much bigger things, like commercials, and that could even lead to movies. So I think that's where a lot of these young men have gotten themselves into trouble, going along with this. Are falling into the trap of it, I should say.
Well, other than the incredible news out of Florida and Texas, which I just think is amazing. I think, other than that good news, any good news for you? What's going on with your show? Any new art pieces you'd like to share? Anything like that before we close?
You asked me to show something, so
yes,
I'm working on Marlene Dietrich.
Oh my God, those eyes! Look at those eyes!
I love the pose. Whenever she would do the male drag thing, and I saw this picture of her dressed as the sailor, and I said, "Oh God!" With the cigarette dangling from her lips, the androgyny. I just had to paint this. So I'm still working on it, but that's where I am. And of course, the US Me News, the Kamala Harris piece that I have tried for weeks and weeks and weeks to donate for fundraising, I finally got someone who contacted me, and they said there's going to be an eBay auction of art where the proceeds will go to the Democratic Party and the Harris Waltz ticket. And so I said, of course, I'll donate. So I'm going to email further tomorrow and find out what I have to do and
Yes.
off Kamala Harris. I might as well show her one more time. And
yes, and we can make sure to announce when that auction will be. So if this will, of course, be a this will go down in history. This piece, Chuck is very humble, but he is in fact a famous artist. And you're so damn humble. This guy, he did James Dean's family estate. He did
my pride and joy.
Lucille Ball's estate. I mean, come on, man.
My pride
you're
and joy.
So humble. You're so humble.
The proudest thing I've ever done, Lucille Ball's childhood home, in Jamestown, New York. Or
Chuck is actually famous and very modest and very modest.
Technically Celeron, New York, but I have 4 of my paintings hanging permanently in the living room of her childhood home. I'm very, very proud of that one.
You should be.
Yeah.
So this will be an art piece. The one that you have done for Kamala. It will, it will become part of history. And I'm so honored to know you and
you're so sweet.
Seen this piece.
But truthfully, Whimsy, all I care about is that this raises a lot of money for Kamala Harris, for the Democrats. That's all I care about. So we'll see what happens.
Well, if you would like to have a painting commissioned or have a reading with Chuck, you can contact him through dransfieldchuck@gmail.com. And you have a show also. What's your channel?
Oh, yes. Chuck's Captivating Chat, which is on Mondays at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, and also on Chuck's Captivating Chronicles. I have like 700 videos on there right now.
Oh, wow.
Old Hollywood stories. I love Lucille Ball stories, because that is my expertise, if I may say, and I love to talk about it. And I do the live show. The live show I do, it started out 30 minutes, and now it averages about an hour and a half, because there's always so much to talk about. And like you, wonderful people comment, ask questions, and I just follow the lead wherever people want to go. I have a lot of fun. Like I have a lot of fun here. I love. Well,
I had a lot of fun here. We had over 505 people hanging out with us.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
I think it was a great day. So I'm going to say good night, and so will you. I have a client, as you know. So we're going to have to say goodbye. Be kind to all, so that all will be kind to you. God bless. Peace out. Take care of yourselves. Get out and vote.
Vote.
We're winning. We're taking Texas and Florida. So
thank you, everybody.
Stay strong, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.